And we have no action to report from closed session. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone will please stand, place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And we're going to start with our recognition with A2A recognition of Mariposa.
Oh, good evening. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Trish Wilson. I'm the coordinator of climate culture and counselors for the district. And I'm here tonight because we've invited attention to attendance, or A to A, to come to recognize some of our staff at Mariposa for some of their excellent practices with attendance. So I'd like to introduce Lacey Collum from A to A.
Thank you, Julie and Trish, board and cabinet members, Dr. Bowers, and the community for having me here to present these top performance awards tonight. It has been my pleasure to partner with the district leadership and staff members here as we focus on attendance. The reason this focus is so important is because research shows that student achievement is inextricably linked to attendance. In our partnership together with the Achievement Initiative, we have challenged ourselves to continue the thriving attendance culture here at Lancaster School District because we believe that creating a culture of achievement begins with creating a culture of showing up. There have been some unique challenges that all districts have faced in the 21-22 school year, yet the work of your teams at your school sites clearly demonstrates the commitment and dedication that Lancaster School District has toward creating a culture of showing up. The result becomes improved student achievement. I am here this evening to help recognize a school site and its staff members who have committed to this culture and worked tirelessly in a year with many unique challenges to focus on improved attendance and family engagement. Before we begin with the awards, I would like to specifically recognize the work of Lancaster School District's Pupil Safety and Attendance and Counselor teams led by Julie Utzler and Trish Wilson. Under the leadership of Julie and Trish, these teams all regularly engage with the Attention to Attendance program to access data, reporting, and student records that help them support the school sites they work with. Their dedicated and consistent efforts have made a significant impact on the success of the school we are recognizing tonight and the district as a whole. So Julie and Trish, I would like to present to you a certificate of recognition. And Julie, this is for you. Oh, Trish, let me find her. Hang on, out of order. Here we go. This is for you, Trish. Thank you for your work. Okay, and now we can begin with the awards. The school we would like to award is Mariposa Elementary School. And the reason that we are recognizing Mariposa Elementary School tonight is for their outstanding work with conferences in the A2A program. They've conducted over 94 attendance conferences and counting, more to go, but close to 100% of their attendance conferences have been addressed in A2A, which is outstanding work. We know those conferences are really what makes the difference in uncovering barriers to attendance. So that being said, I would like to start with Eric Gold. Oh. 100%, I've been corrected. Eric, this certificate is for you. This is for Michael. Michael Choate is the principal of Mariposa Elementary School. He was unable to be here this evening, but we'd like to recognize him as well. And also Eric, I would like to, as I juggle all of these things, I would like to present to you the recognition plaque from A2A, recognizing Mariposa Elementary and your efforts. So congratulations. But wait, there's more. I would also like to recognize Angela Medina Martinez, school counselor. Angela, thank you for your work and congratulations. And finally, I'd like to recognize Lisa Etherington. She's a family ambassador. And thank you so much, Lisa. And Eric, thank you for your work as well, for heading up the team when it comes to attendance. Congratulations to Mariposa Elementary School. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much, Mariposa and your team and parents and staff for focusing on attendance and working really hard to bring that up. That's fantastic. Okay, next up brings us to the ACES Awards, led by Lexi Conti.
Thank you very much. Good evening, board. Good evening, members in the audience. Once a month, I get the opportunity to recognize employees in the district who have achieved a culture of exceptional service. Anybody in the district, related to the district, anybody who knows of the district can nominate somebody for this award. And we've got 9 folks that we're going to be recognizing tonight. And as I said, this is one of my favorite evenings, favorite opportunities. So, try and do this. So, Lizette Flowers, are you here? If Lucia's here, she can come on down too. Lucia, come on. Stand right here. Orange. Here, come. It's kind of interesting. So you know what? Every 30 seconds, just spin around and face the opposite side. So. No. Now you're making me dizzy. Every 30 seconds would be great. So, and for those of you that don't know, Lucia is an office assistant at, sorry, my bad. Lucia is at the Welcome and Wellness Center. Lizette is at an office assistant at Lincoln, where you've been with us for 10 years, and we just want to say thank you for everything. But in particular tonight, here's what Lucia had to say about you. Oh, do that again. I would like to nominate Lizette Flowers from Lincoln Elementary for an ACES Award. On Tuesday, March 29th, I reached out to Lincoln to find out who the family ambassador was, since the list I have is not updated. I got to talk to Lizette, and she informed me that they didn't have one at this time. I told Lizette that the Welcome and Wellness Center had some breakfast boxes from the food bank that I usually offer to family ambassadors for their families, and her response right away was, do you remember? No, that's not right. Give the award back. No, I'm only kidding. You said, awesome. Then I asked her if that was something that Lincoln would be interested in receiving, and if she had anyone who would come over to the Welcome and Wellness Center to pick them up, since she didn't have a family ambassador. Without hesitation, Lizette jumped on it and said, yes, that will be great. I can go and pick them up tomorrow during my lunchtime, if that is okay. I said, of course, and I will get them ready for you. And sure enough, the next day she showed up in her SUV and picked up 11 breakfast boxes for some of her Lincoln families. Thank you, Lizette, for going out of your way and making it happen. I appreciate your commitment and willingness to help our families. All right. So next up, it's my pleasure to present a certificate to Perla Jordan. Perla, are you here? I'm not surprised by that because Perla is a sub-custodian who's probably working tonight. So I will make sure that she receives this. I don't know if I don't see Lynette Carlson. So let me read to you, if you don't mind, what this certificate says. It says, Lynette, who is a teacher, said, I am writing this email to give a huge shout out to Perla Jordan. She has been the substitute custodian at West Wind for several months now. She is a hard worker and always takes care of any situation that needs attention. I appreciate her, and I just wanted to let you know. I will make sure that she knows, and we'll make sure that she gets that award. Can we give her a round of applause, please? And interestingly enough, Perla has worked for the district for all of 5 months and has made that kind of impact already. So next up we have, I did this last time, didn't I, Mrs. Grooms? Not a twofer, not a threefer, but a fourfer. So we've got 4 people that I'd like to call up and have you come and join me. Kim Cochran, did I see you? Yeah, Kim, come on up, help me with this. So the 4 of you were nominated by Principal at Jack Northrop, Kim Cochran. And so the lucky recipients are Christian Livers. Sorry, Christian. Christian is the counselor at Jack Northrop, and you've been there for about 2.5 years. Congratulations. Let me give you that. The paperclip is free. Next up, we'd like to have Jasmine Lopez come on down. Jasmine is the psych intern there, and you've been there for 8 months. Well, doing extraordinary work, aren't you? No, thank you. Next up, as part of this group, I'd like to invite Beverly Shoemaker to come on down and Trish Wilson. Bev is a psychologist in our district for 23 very short years. And interestingly enough, Trish, you too have been in the district for 23 years. Isn't that amazing how that happens? Congratulations. And now, if you don't mind, I will read what Kim had to say about you all. You know, 2 of you one way, 2 of the other way, and then switch. There you go. All right. So this is what Kim said. On Thursday, March 3rd, okay, so I've got a cut and paste here that's making me a little confused. All right, so here we go. On Thursday, March 3rd, this group teamed up to provide support for one of our students in crisis. Throughout the entire situation, they remained calm, supportive, and worked together to coordinate outside services for the student. At 6:30 p.m., our team concluded their support, and even though it was a long day, it certainly didn't show on these all-star faces. So our counselor and psych intern, you were there till 6:30 supporting students. And then in the background, as from what I understand, there was support coming from the district office. So additionally, Kim goes on to say, I would also like to recommend Beverly Shoemaker and Trish Wilson for this special recognition. These 2 exceptional leaders provided superior support throughout the situation as we worked with outside agencies to get help for our student. I am so grateful for this opportunity to publicly recognize the outstanding efforts of these awesome individuals and count myself so blessed to get to work with them each day. Kim, if you're blessed, I'm doubly blessed. So I just want to say to the 4 of you, thank you very much for all that you did for that student. And I know that that student is but one you're being recognized for today. I bet we have a long list of others that you do that for every day. So thank you very much. Kim? Lisa Pitko, come on down. It's like you're really on a game show. What's your favorite game show? That's okay. I can't either. So do you know who nominated you? Leah Fernquist. Leah, are you here? Is she? I don't see her. But this is what Leah had to say about you, Lisa. So Leah is the instructional coach at Monte Vista, and she wrote, I wanted to nominate Lisa Pitko for an award recognition. She said above and beyond, wrong one, it's ACES, but we'll let it slide. I was tasked with a project that involved pulling reports on Power School. I had no idea where to begin, so I reached out to Lisa. She immediately answered my email and gave me the directions for what I needed to do. When I asked for more clarification, she offered to get on WebEx and walk me through it. After spending about 10 minutes walking me through what had to be done, we came to the realization that I didn't have the correct permission or access to complete the job. So Lisa took it upon herself to run the reports or exports for me, put the information into a spreadsheet, and email it to me. I am so grateful for her expertise. This is not the first time Lisa has gone above and beyond to help me. Every time I work with Lisa, she is kind, patient, knowledgeable, and professional. And I'll just add extraordinary. Lisa, thank you so much for what you did for Leah and what you do for everybody who needs help with data. Congratulations. Thank you for indulging me this evening in order to do this. The last group that we have is the tag team pairing at Amargosa. So, and they even dressed together. I mean, dressed the same. So we've got, sorry, Tony Sparkman and Elizabeth Gallardo. So I know many of you have had the opportunity to walk into the front office at Amargosa, and when you do, you can't help but be greeted by two of the friendliest faces in the history of mankind. Three, if I happen to be in the room. So tonight, you've been nominated by Kimberly Fawcett. I don't know if Kimberly is here. So Kimberly, I love it when it's this succinct. It doesn't have to be long to recognize people for extraordinary work. So it says Miss Tony and Miss Elizabeth. So it says Miss Tony is awesome and got me all the information I needed with a smile. We'll let the board see the smile. She was caring, and you'll be glad to know no improvements are needed. I'll double check the evaluation when it comes. No improvements are needed. As I can see, she actually enjoys her job. And do you know what yours says? Yes. So Miss Elizabeth is awesome and got me all the information I needed with a smile. The board needs to see the smile. She was caring and no improvements are needed for you either. As I can see, she actually enjoys her job. And for those of us that have encountered you on the job, we know that you do. And both of you have spent some time in HR, and I can tell you, I know that you do. So I just want to say on behalf of the district, thank you for all that you do. I'm only kidding. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lexi. Great work, staff. Fantastic. It's neat to see all the things you do on a daily basis to go above and beyond and make our district proud. So thank you so much. And from the board and staff, we really, really appreciate everything you do. All right. Next, we have addressing the board. Board members will be utilizing electronic devices during the meeting to access the online agenda. An electronic device may be used to record the meeting. Individuals who wish to address the board may complete a speaker card and present it and any supporting documents to the Deputy Superintendent. Individuals participating remotely who wish to speak must have a completed and approved online registration for public comments no later than 5:00 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Approved online registration for public comments, the day of the meeting. Personal information such as a student, parent, guardian's name, address, phone number, date of birth, email address, or other directory information as defined in Ed Code 49061 may be excluded from the minutes of the meeting by submitting a written request to the superintendent. The board president shall recognize individuals who wish to speak. Individuals wishing to present testimony to the board concerning specific items on the agenda may do so once that item has been moved, seconded, and is on the floor for discussion. Time limits of 3 minutes per person and 20 minutes per item shall be allowed, according to Board Bylaws 9322. And board members may ask questions for clarification purposes. However, no action may be taken and no discussion may take place on an item not on the posted agenda per the Brown Act. And we are going to start with comments from PTA,
None this evening.
CSCA,
No request.
TAL,
No request this evening.
and comments from the audience.
We do have several speaker cards, and the first is from Barbara Long.
Thank you. Thank you, Board, for allowing me to address you again tonight. As always, got ahead of myself. This time I come to you in the power of the Lord Jesus Christ. As always, my subject is the sex ed curriculum. I'm curious if any of you have read it. I just can't wrap my head around why the school board would vote this in. In case you haven't, I'm going to read some of lesson 1. I'm assuming what I was given is the teacher manual. Here goes. And I'm not reading the whole thing, it's just snippets out of it. It says blue is for boys, pink is for girls. Or are they? Name at least 2 stereotypes associated with why many people value gender binary of boys and girls. Analyze at least 2 sources of gendered messages and expectations that exist within their culture. And then there's a little note in there for the teacher about language. Language is really important. We've intentionally been very careful about our language throughout this curriculum. You may notice throughout the curriculum that it seems less familiar using the pronoun instead of her or him, or using gender neutral names and scenarios and role plays, and referring to someone with a vulva versus girl or woman. How many kids are you going to go around saying, oh, that's a person with a vulva? You want kids to do this? This is intended to make the curriculum inclusive of all genders and gender identities. You'll need to determine for yourself how much you can do this in your own school or classroom and should make adjustments accordingly. Obviously, I don't have time to read the whole lesson. Plus, there's a PowerPoint that I don't have. It's mentioned after the PowerPoint to record the students' responses. Teachers have no business teaching this to our kids. It's one more area where the education system is undermining parents. Kids only get a short window to be innocent, and you guys are robbing them of that. I went all through my school years and the years of raising my 8 children who are now adults and were any of them taught this crap. And we were taught biology, male and female. We were taught about puberty of boys and girls, period. And you know what? Every one of us learned what sex was. None of this gender identity based on how you're feeling. One more thing, I noticed in the curriculum that there's an opt-out form that a parent has to fill out. A lot of times kids don't take the papers home to the parents. And it used to be that the parents had to opt their kids in. So I think that's kind of convenient if you ask me. Why is the LGBTQ and the pro-choice groups getting to write this for our kids? This is where the curriculum comes from, advocatesforyouth.org, in case anyone is interested. And I just read, I was on their website the other day, and they've updated it to 2022, and I certainly hope you guys aren't bringing that in, because it's even worse than the 2018 curriculum. When is enough enough? Do you really want your own children or grandchildren learning this stuff? They're being taught and influenced by this propaganda. If so, shame on you. And I want to thank Krista, and I've been in touch also with Rebecca, because I want a list. I know that you guys library books in categories, and I want a list of whatever books are in the school libraries that are in the LGBTQ category. And I would really appreciate getting that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jaylene Davidson. Thank you. Thank you.
My job to hand it to them, and they took that out of my control. You know, you stand up here at every meeting and you say the Pledge of Allegiance. Do any of you even have a clue what that means? Because you don't act like it. Indivisible means not to be divided, yet you still divide our children. You still separate them. Liberty is freedom to choose. The freedom from arbitrary or tyrannical control. Yet you still do this. Okay? One nation under God, which is how it's supposed to be. You know, God says that you can't serve two gods. You can't serve the world and you can't serve him. It has to be one or the other. But you continually choose the world. You sit here and you don't stand up for these kids still. You still separate them between vaxxed, unvaxxed, masked, unmasked. You protect the mask, but you still don't protect the unmasked. Okay? You still push an agenda of a vaccine, which is poison. Now, how is that not against their liberties? Are any of you going to sign papers that if these children have to take vaccinations, that you will actually take on the legal liability if they have a heart attack? No. But you're going to push it. When do you stop fearing your bosses? When do you start fearing your maker? When do you actually do the job that you were hired to do, which is protect these children? You sit here, and she mentioned earlier, you teach children, which by the way is not your place, that they can identify as whoever they want to identify. You are not their parents. That is not your job. You take God, you took God out of the school. You took prayer out of the school. And you said you did that because it was unfair. Because not everybody believed in God. What about the Muslims? What about the Buddhists? So we can't have prayer, but you can teach them about identifying as a boy or a girl or whoever they want, or that they can change it if they don't like it. They are children. That is not your job. You are overstepping. You do not have that right. You did not create them. You aren't even their parents. You will have to be accounted for that. Now, I can't speak for all of you, but if any of you say you did not make decisions as a child that you regretted, I'm going to tell you, I think you're a liar. Because I did. And if I had the knowledge now that I didn't have then, I wouldn't have made those choices. Do you honestly think an 8-year-old, 11-year-old, or 12-year-old, it's okay to give them drugs for transgender right now that they might regret the rest of their life? And you smile like this is a joke. It's not a joke. Our bodies were only created to actually be a holy temple. Now, we've all sinned against that. Okay, one way or the other, whether it be food, smoking, whatever. And that's something between us and God, and we're accountable for that. And thank God that we can be forgiven. But here's the problem. When you start pushing stuff into somebody else's holy temple, you're accountable for each and every one. You now, at your job, are accountable for thousands of people's, not just yours, and for the children, which have a special place in God's heart. I'm going to tell you now, if you don't start fearing the Lord more than you fear your jobs, I actually feel bad for you. Because the consequences are death. Eternal death. You need to start doing your jobs. You need to start being responsible. You need to start letting parents have a say in what you teach their children. You don't get to teach hate. You don't get to teach diversity in sex. You don't get to do that and not be held accountable. Yes, you have been served again. And once again, I urge every parent to serve your board members, to serve your superintendents. You need to start holding them accountable. They are accountable for the choices that they are making for your children. And if you don't start holding them accountable, you're going to have things on your hands that you're not ready to deal with. You have actually taken the joy out of hearts when you separate kids. You say things and you say them without any meaning. Just like the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't understand. And then you sit up there, all except for a couple, and you smile like it's a joke. I promise you the day is going to come where that smile won't be there if you don't turn around and do what's right. God help you all. But most of all, God protect our children from you.
The next speaker is Mackenzie Martinez.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Martinez. I'm a 19-year teacher within Lancaster School District. I would like to encourage you to create an ordinance to keep the mandatory COVID-19 vaccination out of schools as a requirement for in-school instruction. You're going to lose students as well as highly qualified, experienced staff members. Our district is doing a great job at pushing the COVID shot. Why aren't we equally doing as good a job as providing information about the upcoming bills that will require the shot for in-school instruction? Why aren't we informing parents of possible complications to the shot? That way our parents are truly informed. Our district should stay neutral and keep out of political matters. The pandemic, the shot, it's a political and private medical matter, both of which our district does not have reason to push parents in one direction over the other. Why has our district only been pushing the shot? Why hasn't our district let our parents know there is a chance their unvaccinated students will be denied access to in-school instruction next year? Are you afraid more parents will rise up and push back against the proposed bills? We need to create an ordinance to keep the COVID shot a personal choice of parents and not a requirement for in-school instruction. Secondly, in a March 9th email memorandum, Dr. Freeze stated weekly testing for the unvaccinated is a Cal OSHA requirement. On March 15th, I emailed asking for the OSHA doc he's referring to. He forwarded me a document titled COVID-19 Emergency Temporary Standards Frequently Asked Questions dated January 7th. That date, January 7th, is important because on January 13, just 6 days later, the Supreme Court shot down the vaccine or test rule, describing the rule as a significant encroachment into the lives and health of a vast number of employees. Later that March 15th, I emailed Dr. Freeze again asking, why are we still testing? Since the reason we are still testing, per his email, is Cal OSHA, and the Supreme Court shot that down on January 13th. The information he shared with our district on March 9th is outdated. Dr. Freeze did not respond again until I reached out on March 28th, in which he stated that he referred my original email to HR. I already have a problem with this because if you're going to violate my rights and the rights of my peers, my fellow employees, please know specifically exactly why. So if somebody questions you, you can tell them directly. He told me let me reach out to HR so he can secure a response. And that's the last I heard from Dr. Freeze regarding a question on information that he put out. If there's not a law in place to violate our rights and the source you are citing is outdated, I implore you to do the right thing and immediately cease the discriminatory testing of unvaccinated and or undeclared employees. I will go even further and request the board to create an ordinance to stop asymptomatic testing and restore our faith in the district that has faltered the past 2 years. 2 hours ago, I finally received an email back from HR stating the order our district is still following is the August 11th, 2021 health order, which is the quote legal authority for the weekly testing, and that as of today there's nothing to eliminate this requirement. There is so much information that invalidates the August 11th order. Each district and union is opening yourselves up to lawsuits as you anchor all your discrimination and rights violations on an outdated 8-month-old unlawful August 11th health order. Title 42 of the U.S. Constitution, Chapter 21, Section 1983, when two or more persons conspire to use force, intimidation, or threat, or to injure a person and deprives them of the rights and privileges as a United States citizen, the party injured may have an action for recovery of damages occasioned by such injury or deprivation against any one or more of the conspirators. Okay, so again, I implore you to please make an ordinance to keep vaccine mandates optional next year so I can maintain employment as well as my peers that want to maintain their choice, and our students can still come to school and not have to, homeschool or go to private school. And also stop the discrimination. We're better than that. That's 8 months old. Do the research. There's research out there. Our governor's on vacation right now. Please come back to the district that I love and am very proud of. Good night.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Mackenzie Martinez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Mackenzie Martinez. I am a former student in your district. My baby brother was at Miller this year until mandates changed and you wanted to mask kids outside. Now he is in a private school, but misses his friends in our district and would like to come back next year. That will not happen if he has to be vaccinated to come onto campus. I remember all my teachers at Miller and Sunnydale teaching me to stand up to bullies. Now is the time for you to Now is the time for you to take a stand and sign an ordinance to put a stop to the bullying behavior and allow parents to continue to make medical decisions for their kids. If my mom does not think vaccine is right for me yet, and she is the person God trusts to keep me safe and make decisions for, then please keep vaccinations optional. Me and my brothers have already been through so much with the stupid mandates. We are finally past quarantines and testing for our sports. We just want to go back to school unbothered. Please stand up for all kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Nicholas Polito.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nicholas Polito. I'm sure you remember me. I am here to tell you that I am stronger than I used to be, and that even though I am 9 years old, I will not allow you to take my freedom of choice. I am here to tell you to not force the COVID-19 vaccine into schools. I know I will not be getting the vaccine, but I am worried about my friends and classmates that won't have a choice because they will be forced. Please do not make this mistake and give every kid a choice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Carla Galvin.
Hello. I just wanted to point out, Ms. Bowers, you grinning back there while we speak is so disrespectful. First, I wanted to talk about Wynn calling us bullies. I've never once came in here being disrespectful or bullied anyone for that matter. If you think me as a mother standing up and fighting for my kids and other kids' freedom is being a bully, then you haven't seen anything yet. Because I will fight with every ounce of courage that God has provided me with. With that being said, good evening. My name is Carla Galvin. I'm here to speak on the comment Diane Grooms made on being on board with the vaccine if it got FDA approved. Do you guys actually do your own research or do you just follow the herd? I want to talk about vaccines that were approved by the FDA and then they have been pulled. Did you guys know that the swine flu vaccine got pulled in the 70s? DTP vaccine was pulled in the 80s due to injuries and deaths. HIV vaccine and trials were pulled and stopped. Dengue vaccine was pulled in 2019 from the Philippines. This vaccine killed a lot of children. Other vaccines that got removed include oral polio, rotavirus implicated as a case of intussusception in infants, Lyme disease, which caused autoimmune side effects, hepatitis, HPV, suspended from use in school-age children in France due to lengths of multiple sclerosis. Bottom line is that all of you need to educate yourself before you allow this COVID vaccine to enter the school system. This is not a vaccine that fits all. Doesn't it concern you that the FDA asked a federal judge permission to make the public wait until the year 2096 to release the data on the Pfizer vaccine? The FDA wanted court approval to have up to 75 years to publicly disclose this information. Do you know how a vaccine is approved by the FDA? They have to be approved for a clinical trial before they can be tested on humans. It can take up to 10 years for a vaccine to be approved. So this COVID vaccine is only approved under the emergency use authorization until 2023, which means if you get injured, pharma can't be held accountable for your injuries. How does that not concern you? Did you know that Pfizer hired 600 additional full-time employees and then later hired 1,800 to process adverse event reports during the 3 months following the emergency use authorization of its COVID-19 vaccine newly released documents reveal? There was 158,000 adverse events in the first 2 months of Pfizer vaccine. There is now 1,205,755 COVID vaccine adverse events reported from December 14, 2020 through March 25th, 2022. That eclipses the total number of adverse events reported in the 32-year history of the database. Doesn't that terrify you? All of you guys are willing to follow orders to include this vaccine for our children to attend school without an ounce of concern. I want to ask you, if you are willing to be liable for the COVID-19 vaccine injuries that will come about. If not, then fight for the right to choose and don't fall to this evil, because the moment that you allow this to enter the school system, you will be part of that evil. And I pray God has mercy on you. Parents, this is the time to stand up for your children, not when it is too late, not when you vaccinate your kids and they get a life-threatening reaction, because I guarantee you that you will not be able to live with that. This is where you take back your parental rights that these individuals have been trying to take from you for so long. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Mark Napolitano.
Thank you. Oh, good evening, members. There's so much stuff to talk about, not enough time. It's a crazy time we live in, but just to piggyback off some of the stuff that was already stated, my name is Mark Napolitano. Those adverse reactions that have been reported, those are the ones that have been reported. How many have not been reported? If you've looked at some of the bills that are in place, they're willing to, at least in the state of California, doctors that speak out against certain things will face punishment, you know? I truly feel that that's horrible, disgusting, and wrong. I don't know about you guys, but I myself am proudly unvaccinated. I'm luckily a blue-collar worker, so, you know, I'll even fight tooth and nail there if they come screaming at me, trying to throw something at me that I'm not willing to put in my body. I'm a firm believer that's my body, my choice, right? Where they're, and with that being said too, it's your guys' choice. What's it going to take? 6 shots? You know, if this bill goes through and they say staff and students have to be fully vaccinated, I don't even know what the hell the definition of fully vaccinated is, because in 2 years you need to have 4 shots, 5 shots. Anybody know? 4? I think it's 4 shots? 4 shots. I wouldn't know because I didn't do it. But anyways, that's insane. If you guys are willing to do that to yourselves and your body, more power to you. But discussing the issue of forced injections on our children, some board members, I'm sure parents as well, are in favor of medical rape. Yes, that's precisely what this is. Rape is identified as to seize and take away by force. You're agreeing to take away our children's bodily autonomy. Not your children's, not the state's children's, not the government's children, our children. These are our children, and we're telling you, the board that represents our children, no, not happening, not over a virus with such a high survival rate. Claims of 361 children, or 0.05%, it's not even 1%, it's not even 0.5%, of COVID deaths in the USA. As more and more truths are coming to the surface, it's hard to believe some things we've been lied to about. LA Board of Supervisors just voted to terminate 18,000 employees at their discretion. I don't know if you guys watch any of the crime stats out here, but 4,000 less police officers over bodily autonomy, my body, my choice. I don't get it. That's scary to think about, though. 4,000 less police officers. I saw today the Department of Health encouraging most vulnerable to take this shot. They stated 1,153 cases on Saturday. Now, mind you, LA County has a population of 9,934,710, which has been decreasing by 34,000 residents annually since 2019 and 30,000 in 2018. Therefore, the 1,153 new cases as of this past Saturday don't even make up 1% of LA County's population. Actually, 0.1% would be 9,934 residents. The county and everyone else needs to stop the bullying tactics known as fear mongering. I remind you, this emergency youth authorization test, experiment, whatever you want to call it, go get your shot, be a lab rat, more power to you again, is still in place through next school year, which means if you guys are on board with this nonsense and you try to force it on our children, it's an experiment all the way through the end of next school year. And camaraderie, which has been FDA approved, is not even available in the United States of America yet. Has camaraderie gone through a 5 to 10 year testing period? It's a good question. I'll have an answer for you possibly next meeting. No, our children are not lab rats. Where we face consequences, we must allow choice. Medical rape is a direct violation of the Nuremberg Code. You're also medically segregating parental visitors who must be vaccinated or test. I was just on your guys' website before I came in. That's some nonsense in my opinion, but you're making parents have to test if they want to come volunteer at schools. Like, seriously? I think we're over all this stuff, like the whole world. I urge and insist you to stop bullying your staff, us parents, and our children. I urge you to stand against the tyrants and fight with us parents. I have been very involved since last October, and I have yet to see any parents come and speak in opposition. So stop the bullying and don't rape our children. And just to piggyback, not even piggyback, but I'm a member of a group in Palmdale, and we actually had an ordinance that went and passed unanimously. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Palmdale Freedom Coalition or the Ordinance 1577, which actually any employer that enforces testing or vaccination in the city of Palmdale would be in direct violation of our ordinance. You guys want to be able to receive any funding or monies from the city of Palmdale, and we're actually headed your way. So Rex will see us next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Laura Giles.
Thank you. Good evening. As the COVID restrictions are lifted throughout Los Angeles County and all of California, I'm looking forward to open house at my kids' school. I'm looking forward to talking to their teachers face to face. I'm looking forward to seeing their classrooms and where they sit. I'm looking forward to meeting my children's classmates and their parents. Students and teachers are no longer required to mask, so I'm wondering, why are there still restrictions for parents? Stop the restrictions, open the schools to parents. Who exactly are these restrictions protecting? If people have the vaccine if they want it, and they've made the choice not to, who are we protecting? Who's making these policy decisions? I've seen the county regulations, and it's a recommendation. It is not a requirement. Parents are an important part of student success. Let's work together and continue and not continue to cause division. I also encourage you as school board members to be aware of the upcoming bills being voted on regarding COVID that will affect students and teachers in the fall of 2022. I encourage you as a board to put a resolution on the agenda opposing these bills. They are SB 871, SB 2539, SB 866, SB 1479, SB 1464, AB 1797, AB 2098, SB 920, and SB 1100. And I gave you guys all a copy of that little thing. It has a brief description of what they are. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next comment is actually online. And I believe we have the individual, hopefully we do, from Tyler Heckathorn.
I hope you all can hear me.
We can barely hear you, Mr.
Okay, I will speak a little bit. Is that better? No? If I speak this way, is it better? Can you hear me? Hello? Sorry, can you hear me? Okay. I saw Mrs. Grooms nodding her head, so I'm assuming you can hear me. Okay. Thank you so much. I just wanted to call in after hearing some very strong feelings from some of the other speakers over the past few meetings. I felt personally compelled to speak as well. And I would like to express my personal gratitude to the board members who have held our students' safety in paramount when making the difficult decisions regarding our students and COVID. Before we can address the students' educational needs, we have to ensure their safety. Having worked with some of our more medically involved students, I personally understand that. However, even our quote-unquote healthy students can be impacted. I have experienced this personally. One of my nephews who had no pre-existing conditions will now require regular checkups with a cardiologist due to ongoing heart conditions from his bout with COVID-19. We were and are dealing with a virus that can affect us all. So I am grateful to you, board, for following the guidance and keeping our students safe. Thank you.
From the audience.
Thank you, Dr. Bowers. Okay, and that brings us to our next item, which is our informational items. And we'll start with the enrollment report by Rebecca Cooksey.
Good evening, board. So as of today, our TK students total 14,125. Our ECE students have gained also at 603 for a grand total of 14,728. This is a gain of 10 from our last board report and a gain of 374 from the same month last year.
Great. And do we have any other informational items?
Nothing else this evening.
All right, next we have our audit report by Christy White, Accountancy.
Mr. TP, we have a representative here this evening from Christy White to give us some information about our 2021 annual financial audit.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vanessa Pineda. I am a director with Christy White Associates. We completed the financial audit as of June 30, 2021. So we're going a little bit back in time and just to discuss our opinions and the results of our audit. So just wanted to provide a background as to what the responsibility of the auditor is and what the responsibility of the district is. So the district should maintain effective internal controls, prepare their financial statements, manage and prepare the budget. And then us as auditors, we come in and provide an opinion on those financial statements. And we also make sure that they complied with applicable federal major program and K through 12 state requirements. So our opinion does not address the financial condition of the entity, nor does it provide absolute assurance. So I'll go ahead and start with our first opinion. We have 3 opinions. So the first opinion can be found on page 1 of the audit report. In our opinion, the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. Lancaster School District, as of June 30, 2021, complied with the generally accepted accounting principles by the USA. And then we have a letter on internal controls over financial reporting. So we consider this when we're completing our financial statement opinion. However, we do not specifically place an opinion on internal controls, but if in any way there was major concerns, we would all report them. And typically that would affect our opinion on the financial statement. So again, unmodified opinion, best opinion you can receive. There is no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses noted, and this can be found on page 76. So it's a pretty large report, about 100 pages. So it's all the way in the back. And then our second opinion is on federal programs. So as you guys know, there was a lot of funding related to COVID-19. So we did test those 2 major programs. And we additionally tested Title I, Part 8. So we also tested the Educational Stabilization Fund, which you guys will also know it as ESSER and GEAR. And then we took a look at the Coronavirus Relief Fund. Again, unmodified opinion, best opinion you can receive. No significant deficiencies or material weaknesses were noted, and this can be found on page 71. And then lastly, our opinion is on state compliance. So as you guys see, there's a lot of programs we do test. A lot of them were actually removed, so it's a longer list typically due to COVID-19, but we did add distance learning as that was a new state compliance requirement. So again, unmodified opinion, best opinion you can receive. No significant deficiencies nor material weaknesses were noted. And this is on page 73. And then lastly, I just have the summary and then a few changes to our accounting principles I wanted to touch on. So this was what I call the cheat sheet page of the audit report. So it's a long report. So if you turn to page 75, this summarizes all of our opinions that I just mentioned. So all 3 of them, again, unmodified opinion, no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. And why I like to point that out is typically you could still receive unmodified opinion with some significant deficiencies, but we didn't note any. So overall clean audit report. And then some key points to our auditing standards. So we follow GASB and GASB 84 implemented in 2021. And this related directly to our fiduciary activity fund. So as you guys know, there's now a student body activity fund that was in place from the prior year. And then for the retiree benefit fund and warrant pass-through, these were flown into the general fund. So you will see a restatement to the net position. So the governmental activities as the government-wide statements. So this was about 670 with 197. And then if we break that down for each fund, for the retiree benefit fund and the warrant pass-through, this was included in the general fund. So you'll see the 444,787. And then for the new student activity fund, we had to restate the beginning balance since it wasn't included in the prior year. And this was 225,410. And again, you could find this on page 51. I've left them all at the bottom of the PowerPoint. Lastly, we just wanted to say thank you. We appreciate the hard work put in by the Lancaster School District staff to complete the process. We typically work with Larry, Mary Ellen, Ruby, Maria, Marsha. So as you guys see, it's a group effort, team effort by the whole district. And we appreciate them working with us. They provided all these items virtually. As you guys know, it was due to the COVID-19. So we appreciate the quick turnaround and uploading all the documents, working with the site. So we definitely appreciate their hard work. And I'll allow for any questions or comments at this moment. Thank you.
Okay, great job. Any questions or comments? Keith?
Is there? I learned this a long time ago being on a board, and you've probably heard me say this before. Is there anything else we need to know?
No, there isn't anything. We typically do have a letter to the board if there's anything that we need to communicate that wasn't a finding, but still an issue we would want to bring up. So we don't have it.
Okay.
Well, we're great to hear this report. Fantastic. And thank you for working with our district during the difficult time with the virtual and everything else. So we appreciate that extra effort. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
And great job to staff for another great financial audit report. Fantastic work. Okay, next we have our individual action items. Superintendent, item 13A, adoption of resolution 2021-22-24, board compensation for missed meetings for March 22 for Sandra Price. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Diane Grooms. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Keith Childs. Any discussion? All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion does not carry. It was
Okay, and just for the record, because I'm not sure that, I want to make sure that the secretary gets it correct. So Mrs. Grooms voted aye. Mr. Giles voted nay. Mr. TP voted aye. Mr. Nguyen voted nay. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay. And next item, adoption of resolution for addendum to certification of signatures approved December 14th, 2021. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Keith Giles.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nguyen. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, and the next two items we're actually going to flip. Is that correct?
They are actually correct as it appears now. We had already flipped them from the previous printing, so it is
Okay.
correct as printed.
Very good. So we're at item C, approval of appointment of our superintendent, Dr. Paul Marietti. And we're pleased to see him here with us tonight. And do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Nguyen, second by Mrs. Grooms. And welcome. Any discussion? Should we bring it to vote? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
Mr. TP, would you like to introduce?
Yeah, Paul, welcome to our district. Please stand. And did you have any words you'd like to share with us?
And please introduce your family too.
Can't see both. Don't have bifocals.
I feel you.
Members of the board, Superintendent Bowers, I'd like to thank the board for providing me the opportunity to serve the students, staff, and parents in the community of Lancaster School District as a superintendent of schools. It's a position that I do not take lightly. As a servant leader, I come into Lancaster School District to carry on the great work that is being done here and to identify opportunities to continue to grow and improve as a school district. I look forward to meeting with and listening to all the members of the Lancaster community and to serving them to the best of my ability. I want to acknowledge my wife, who's here with me today, Sony, 22 years. So I thank her for all her support. She keeps me grounded as a middle school math teacher. She keeps me grounded to always remember that the most important thing that goes on in a school district goes on in a classroom. So I want to acknowledge her. And my two daughters, Frankie and Tony, can't be here with us. They're doing their schoolwork. So I want to let everyone know that I'm honored to be selected for this position, and I eagerly look forward to beginning the work. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We are honored to have you here and looking forward to many years of service. Thank you so much. Okay, next we have item D, approval of employment agreement for superintendent.
So moved.
Moved by Keith Giles.
Second.
Second by Diane Grooms.
Statement.
Okay. And I'm going to read an attachment that goes with that. Okay. The board will be considering a contract of employment for Dr. Paul Marietti as a district superintendent effective July 1st, 2022. The recommended compensation is summarized as follows. Annual base salary of $230,200 with an annual 3% increase with a satisfactory or better performance evaluation. Benefits provided per the district management salary schedule, excluding additional salary for operating his own vehicle. Health and welfare, longevity, and retirement benefits equivalent to those provided district certificated management employees. 12 days sick leave annually. Membership organization dues payment in CALSA, AXA, AASA, and local civic groups. $150,000 term life insurance policy. $3,500 annual doctoral degree stipend. $500 monthly vehicle allowance, and up to $10,000 for moving and relocation expenses. So with that, I'm going to bring it to a vote. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Welcome aboard.
I'd also like to thank Leadership Associates with the search that they provided for us. They brought some exceptional candidates to us who really reflected our community. And it's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Marietti to our community as well.
It did not make it easy. It was a very, very difficult choice, and we're looking forward to many great years ahead. Thank you.
I wish we could pop the champagne right now, but we
I
do
know.
have to finish our meeting.
Okay, next we have individual action items, human resources. Approval of variable term waiver for the 2021-22 school year.
So moved. I think there's just not a spot.
There's not a spot, but we do need an action.
All right. I'll
Thank
move
you.
it.
Moved by Keith Giles.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wint. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 15, consent agenda items, superintendent, items 15A to 15D. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nguyen. Second.
Second.
Second by Diane Grooms. We have any discussion?
Just the donation from Feed the Children to the Welcome and Wellness Center. As always, we have wonderful people within this Antelope Valley that respect the school district, respect what we are doing for the children, and to see these donations come in to feed the children, that's great. We love it, and we thank you very much.
Yeah, it was neat to see earlier the steps people are taking to get those donations to the families too. Great work. All right, with that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, item 16, consent agenda items business. Item 16A to 16K.
So moved.
Moved by Keith Giles.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nguyen. Any discussion? I was amazed by the amount of signature envelopes that we need to use, but it's still cheaper than mail or driving around and getting signatures. But that's an interesting thing that's kind of come up. It is far more efficient. I agree with that. So interesting how things change.
Nice to see some stuff getting completed too. It's always nice to see the notice of completion. That means it's done. No more change orders. Nothing like that.
Yeah, especially that walk-in freezer. How is that working out pretty good? Yeah. It's been a long time in working that out. All right, with that, call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carry 4-0. Okay, item 17, consent agenda items, educational services. Items 17A to 17G. Do we have a motion?
Move.
Moved by Mrs. Grooms.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nguyen. Any discussion?
I have a question, Mr. Hoffman. Is that only going to be for Sierra?
This particular one is for Sierra because they're doing some deeper work, yes. But the CSIS plan supports all the other schools to offer the same type of opportunity.
And the civility, is that for the teacher, parent?
Yes, it's good for all staff members and community, the way they can expand it. I see the principal of Sierra's here too. Want to add on anything that you specifically wanted to call out?
Can you please come step to the podium and share that so that everyone can hear you? Thank you.
That's what you get for being here.
So we'll be doing work with our classified folks. So our paraeducators, our front office staff, our supervision aides, our CNS staff is welcome to invite us as well. Belinda's been working with us to really enhance the way we interact and communicate with members of the public, community, and the families.
Who brought it forward?
We're working closely with Alicia, and Rosemary is helping us with the civility piece.
Okay. Thank you. No, that was what I wondered, if it's Alicia and okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I dismissed?
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion? Okay, with that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carry 4-0. Okay, items 18, consent agenda items, human resources, 18A to 18C.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Diane Groom, second by Keith Giles. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motions carry 4-0. Okay, item 19, consent agenda items, innovation and technology services, item 19A to 19B. We have a
So moved.
motion by Keith.
Second.
Second by Dwayne.
Rebecca?
You always have a question.
I do. Well, when I see these names, CrowdStrike, Falcon, Complete Managed Detection and Response Software.
That means it's serious.
That's right.
That many words.
It's for our cybersecurity, so it will find threats that come in through our network, find them, isolate them, and give us the information so we can go do an investigation.
Will it put a stop to any of them, though?
It will put a stop to it. Brandon did a report today to Cabinet and informed us that education is the most targeted industry right now for cybersecurity because we tend to not have cybersecurity task force. So they're looking to get us. And we want to prevent that, put that wall up and make sure our people are trained and we have all the resources in the right place.
Ask Palmdale.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Palmdale, you're right. And the Learn for Life summer school program, that's going to be the same as in years past?
Well, a little bit of a change. So we have a great summer program that Jane Dana has been working on, getting some wonderful classes for our kids. But the difference this year is it will be a 9-hour day. So parents have the option of coming just for the instructional part if they want to, which is about 4 hours. Or if they need extended care, there's a lot of fun activities like sports and other things for children to do for that 9-hour day. So we're working on, this is part of the ELOP, the Extended Learning Opportunities Plan that we're working on. That will also be for TK through 6th graders next year. We have to offer a 9-hour day.
And I was curious on the CrowdStrike program. Did that come with good recommendations from other districts?
Came with great recommendations. And Brandon, do you want to chime in a little bit here?
Brandon hates it. Hey, fair is fair.
We're lucky to have Brandon in our district because he really knows a lot about cybersecurity, way more than I do. So I'm letting him chime in.
So CrowdStrike is very well recommended. If you look at the Gartner quadrants, it's one of the top ones that's available. Not only that, but MSISAC, which is multi-state information sharing and something AC, essentially funded by CISA, is starting to use it to deploy out for its state, local, tribal, and territorial partners. So it's kind of using that as a component. So that is part of the reason why we brought it on board. Just today at this meeting, we just had an alert pop on one of our servers and are actually investigating it right now. So it is already kind of stopped, whatever that means. It could be a false flag as well. So that's going to be something for us to investigate. But it's something that we're already kind of deployed to our servers and look forward to deploying to our workstations as well across the district.
I feel like I'm a brand new board member because when he said a bunch of stuff, I don't know what he meant, but I know it's a good thing. But yeah, I just have to trust him.
And just, if you don't know, this is the man behind the curtain right here. Keeping everything working very well. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for answering your phone too.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, next legislative and policy discussion. Any comments or questions on the first readings? Okay, move forward. Brings us to comments from the board. Mr. Giles.
Okay, thanks for all you guys that hung out all the way to the end. Congratulations, you made it. Mariposa, anybody from Mariposa still? Great job with Mariposa stuff. We had a stint at Mariposa back in the day. You guys probably don't remember this, but we used to have like the track system, red, orange, yellow, green, and they were the first ones to go with the traditional track. Boom, we went there. So but we all have traditional track now. So, they were trendsetters back in the day. And a couple years ago, they had like they do the coding thing and they had like an escape room. Boom, I was there for that too. That was fun. But anyway, and congratulations to our ACEs recipients that super deserving of those. Thanks to all of our speakers. I know that when I share some concerns with the vaccine, I think we all do with the vaccine mandates, and hopefully we can get some, maybe get some kind of a resolution that we can keep sending up there, that maybe we can let our kids and our staff and our parents make the decision and not the government for us. Thanks for, what else? There was something else I wanted to say. Thanks to our audit team. I think she's probably gone already, but it's always good to have a positive audit. That says everything about the district and what our people in the finance department do. So thanks to all of them. I'm sure Ruby and was it Martha? A new one. Isabel. I got to remember that, but yeah, they make sure everything is going to go over well, and I know they make it easy for that group because I've heard them tell me the group. If you talk to auditors on the side, they'll tell you how your district is because they'll tell you how they are to work with. And last but not least, welcome to our new superintendent, getting ready to start here pretty quick. I guess July, somewhere around there, but we're really looking forward to working with Dr. Marietta, and we are super excited that you're on board with us, and we're super excited. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. And next, Diane.
Yes, thank you for everyone who's concerned for the safety of our students and our community and staff. And I want to remind the public that the board did vote a resolution against the vaccine being mandatory, and then we sent that to all of our legislators, public health supervisors, and we too agree that the vaccine is untested and we're not ready to do that level of activity yet. I do think that the public health department is still trying desperately to catch up with the state and the federal rules, and I just wish they would hurry so that it would be a little more clear for all of us on the different regulations. But as what I see here, as of March 11th, we still have to test our employees for COVID. That ruling is still in place. Congratulations to all our ACES winners and for the attendance recognition. This is the real heart of work that individual employees really dedicate themselves to making sure that our kids have the best opportunity both to attend school and to be safe at school. HR, you've done a fantastic amount of work, so many more positions filled. And I did see a few retirements on the list, which means then there's other positions to fill. So I really do appreciate all the work that you've been doing, both on the certificated and classified side. In the fine print of our meeting tonight, we did order an election on November 8th for new board members. And so that will be coming up, and you'll see the darn signs out there in the pretty short order, but I don't think we actually filed till August. I'm going to put my Rotary hat on for a moment. I'm a member of Lancaster Sunrise Rotary, and Tara Goins is going to be speaking this week to our club and giving us information of ways that we can expand the number of libraries that are outside our schools, actually out in front. And this was part of an agreement that our club did to coordinate with the district for parent and student literacy, especially at the younger ages. So we're very excited to be working that way. It's one of our pet projects as a club, and to be able to even expand this even further into our community is great. I actually saw a little library in my own neighborhood this week that I had never seen before. And that to me, I should have been the first. I should have had it up there first, but I don't give up. And a very special welcome and thank you to Dr. Marietti and Sony for coming and joining us tonight as we go through all the details of dry board meetings. We truly are excited about our opportunity to work together, and we've got some great staff members here that will support you and our community as well. And I really look forward to this, even though I'm still mad at Dr. Bowers. That's all I have.
Thank you, Diane. Dwayne?
Sure. Rebecca, thank you again for the enrollment report. It's nice to see that we increased 10 more since the last meeting just a week or so ago. And we're up again 374 from last year. We're closing in on the 15,000. Our advertising on the billboards, I still think, is doing a great job. People tell me all the time, well, you guys going to advertise forever? And I said, as long as we can, yes. So it is a good thing. Social media is going to help us, our district, grow. And those billboards are doing a good job proving that. The A2A for Mariposa, you're right, Keith. They're great over there. They do some. Mike Choate, I've known him as a teacher since both of my girls were in elementary school, and he's driving that school with the Code to the Future. He's really helping it. So thank you to Angela, Lisa, Eric, and Michael, and the whole group over at Mariposa that are really making that school stand out. For the ACES Award, well, 9 of them, huh, Lexi? That's great. That's great. I mean, we have Lizette from Lincoln, Perla. We have the 4 Christian. And I don't know if you've ever seen or heard Christian doing his interviews on online at New Vista. But he'll interview someone. He'll take and interview a person. And he's really great at it. And the kids love to ask a bunch of questions. I know they made me do that, which was great. And Lisa at Monte Vista, New Vista, Amargosa, Tony, and Elizabeth. And Alicia, I saw you walk in. Civility Zone, good job. We need to keep that rolling. And of course, we have our 2 favorite employee search group, Charles and Mike. And I'll always say, keep it up. We got a great house. We got a great district, and you got a great group of people that we're bringing aboard. And one more person out there in the audience, and he should stand up. And that's Dr. Andrew Glatfelter. Please. Now, I only know him because I like to go over to his school and look at the Starbucks cafeteria. I mean, Starbucks library room that he has. But we were up in Monterey for his award, and I'm telling you, they've done a great job over there. And I'm hoping that now it carries on to the other schools. And I asked Andy if he was going to be our driving force, get the whip out and get the other schools doing it. But it sounds as if all of our schools have that capability and are doing things that are great. We talked about Mike Choate at Mariposa and others, Sierra and the Civility Zone, and there's things happening out in our district that we should be very proud of. But when they come out, we just need to advertise them. And thank you, Dr. Glatfelter. It was a great thing to see. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And yeah, it's a fantastic meeting tonight. Great things being discussed. And Mariposa, great job with the program, with working with the attendants. I know we have a lot of great programs to, excite kids and bring them into our schools, coding, computing, and other programs. But it's also neat to see that program you're designing help to follow up with students that need extra support or families that do. I know because of the COVID, the virtual and everything, that's a big key to getting people back into that culture of showing up every day. I know that's very important. So great work with that. Fantastic audit report. Great to see that again. And I know that a lot of hard work goes into that, and it's neat that we got a positive report again in all three of those areas. Also neat ACES awards, very good. And it's also neat to see that we're bringing back, looking at for state testing, getting ready to ramp up for that. And summer school is coming up, and also promotion ceremonies. So a big, exciting couple months coming up here. Also, the speakers had some very important things to share, and I'm not sure who provided this, but it was
from Laura. I just put it on here.
Okay, so we have a list of a lot of the state bills that they're trying to push through right now, which would impact education greatly. So we have a copy of this. Could we have that available at our district office if anybody would like a copy? Or, please contact your legislators. Please become informed about these different bills because they will have a huge impact on education and parents. So we'll have it available in case you are interested in learning more about them, and contacting some of your legislators. Let them know how you feel about them too.
There's an additional item that's before the legislature right now, is that schools will be required to provide transportation from a 1/2 mile radius. And that's another one that our Assemblyman Tom Lackey has been working against for us. We don't need that type in an environment where we don't have enough school buses now. So that's another one that really could be added to that list.
Yeah. So a lot of times these legislators, they don't really know what it takes to run a school or run a district. And they come up with these things. They sound great on paper, but it has huge financial and impacts on school districts. So definitely become aware on those and contact your legislators. Let them know how you feel about it as well. Yeah, good point. Right. And with that,
Can I add one?
Yep.
If you have nothing to do this Friday and Saturday, come over to East Side High School and join us for the Aerospace Valley Robotics Tournament. 36 teams from around California, and there might be 2 from out of the country. But it's a chance for one or two this year to go to the World Championships in Houston. So please come on over and watch these kids and look at their robots, and you'll be surprised at what you transition from coding to robotics. And this is a culmination at the high school level for these kids. So you'll really have a great experience.
thank you.
Sorry, Greg.
Yeah, thanks for helping. Yeah, Mr. Wayne and his wife have been involved with that program for years, and many of our kids have been through our Lego summer programs and then gone on to be in the robotics there. Very, very exciting. All right. Well, Dr. Marietti, again, thank you for being here and welcome aboard. And congratulations. We look forward to working with you. And Ms. Bowers?
Thank you very much, Mr. Teefee. I too would like to congratulate everyone that was recognized and received awards this evening. All of our ACES recipients. Great job getting through all of those. Mr. Conti, thank you so very much. Also want to give a shout out to Mariposa for continuing the emphasis and the hard work to focus on attendance and continuing to engage parents and supporting them. So thank you very much for that work. Business department, you have to text Ruby and say, well done. So thank you very much for the work that you all do and for the report from the audit company. Dr. Marietti, thank you. So great to meet you. Congratulations. I look forward to working with you to make this transition as smooth and as wonderful as possible. And for all of our audience members out there, we will get together and coordinate a couple of opportunities for reception so that Dr. Marietti has an opportunity to meet staff and to meet community members. And we look forward to the opportunity to do that and get some cake. So
Get some cake.
we will make sure that cake is present. With that, thank you for coming out. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what kind of cake you want. But thank you to the board.
Which is it,
Dr.
Sonny?
Bowers?
Which cake is it, Sonny?
Technically, it's not cake, but it's okay.
We can get that.
We do too.
We can take care of you.
We got some good ideas. All right, with that, we're going to adjourn our meeting at 7:46. Do we have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Nguyen, second by Mrs. Grooms. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.